on this. Okay, good. Move this. Doesn't matter. So number one, I want to revisit grounding, and that's page 35 in your book. I want to go over grounding and protecting. I want to kind of address, like Mary Beth, you mentioned the protection being an issue, so I really want to cover that. So that helps you out, and all of us in general. So page 35 on grounding. So oops. So on page 35, that's to represent, that little orb is supposed to represent Earth, and the red is the core of the Earth. And like I mentioned the other day, you've all seen the three-prong, the plug-ins, the three-prong plug-in. There's the two-prong, and anything that you get two-prong is always going to be of low voltage. It's not going to be a major appliance. It's like that clock neck there. It's only going to have two-prong because it doesn't have a lot of power going through it. However, if you have a drill or a power saw or something like, you're always going to have a third prong, and that third prong is a grounding wire. Literally, what they do is they tie all the grounding aspects of your outlets into a rod that's stuck somewhere in the ground around your house, under your house, and the wire is going to that. So literally, if you get an overcharge, the ground is supposed to take that extra energy and shove it into the earth so you don't blow yourself up or the equipment. I remember one time I was going to remodel the old Corai supermarket, just actually not too far from here on Hay Street, and there was this old air conditioner. I was like, hey, I want to try to rewire that, and I was doing it myself, and not really that legal, but anyway, I thought I did really good, and I flew the breaker. So it's dangerous when high-powered things don't have that ground to take that excess energy. So if you're working on someone, and like I said before, I don't care what you hear from other people, my experience is you're always going to pick up something from who you're working on. Okay, you can't protect yourself completely. If you protected yourself completely, it would be impossible to really connect to them to get the information that you need to know how to work with someone. So whether it's talk therapy, whether it's Reiki, things like that, you're still opening up to those people that you're working with. And like you mentioned the other day, Tim, talking and communicating on what you get is really important. So you got to be open to that to pick it up. But when you're open to other people, then you pick up some of their residual static, if you will. And that static energy you need to let go through you so you do not pick it up. So if you're not grounded, there's a tendency for that energy to, a little bit to kind of get stuck to you. And then you can do the sweeping exercise where you sweep it off. But ultimately, it's to practice, not only when before you do a session, but practice maybe daily, actually preferably daily, especially since the next 21 days you're going to kind of go through a little Reiki attunement process, is just daily do some kind of grounding exercise. I've got one set up from YouTube, and there's tons of them on YouTube. I like doing different meditations because if I do the same one, my brain is like expecting the same thing, and I kind of get bored with it. So on YouTube, you can just search grounding meditations, and thousands there. So we're going to do one this morning. So grounding is really important because, according to the picture, if you're not grounded, what happens is that extra energy that you have, or you're picking up from the other person, it doesn't discharge because you're the one that's trying to help the other person. So you're the one that's open and receptive, and you'll get some of their static. And if you're not grounded, you'll be carrying it around. And if you work on a lot of people daily, I've done this to myself before. It's like if you're working on someone, or if you're doing like talk therapy or coaching someone, you're picking that stuff up, then at the end of the day, you've got a pretty good amount of charge that needs to be, let go. So grounding helps that. And like Tim mentioned yesterday, because you've done a lot with your mental focus and develop the mind, which I think is really important. Once you have the practice down, you can instantaneously just go into that mode of grounding. But it's really good at the beginning to have a practice of that. So,
well, and it's interesting you say that. Here, when you were teaching us how to ground ourselves, I was able to follow you very well. And since then, I at work, I stand the entire time, and I can, just like a hypnotic state, I can go into within a second. The same thing, I feel like I'm that grounded. I thought the more you practice it, the quicker, the better your ability will be to use that.
And the more you'll stay grounded. For us upper chakra people, it takes more effort for us to be grounded. So grounding is really important. And I sometimes still fail to do that regularly like I need to. But I get a reminder. So this is a little meditation we're going to go through. And like I said, there are thousands on YouTube. So we're just going to do this meditation. So this will even start us out for today when we practice with each other later. And I just Googled grounding meditation, and this one's called Grounding and Chakra Balancing Meditation. This one's about 10 minutes long. There's short ones, there's longer ones. This one to me is kind of on the edge of being long because it only takes a few minutes, but it's always nice to listen to something different.
All tension.
Let me go back.
Take a few deep breaths. Let go of all tension. I want you to imagine that you're in a beautiful place. Peaceful, beautiful. Find yourself relaxing in this place, sitting down on the ground, close to the earth. Notice the rise and fall of the breath, and how every breath you take makes you feel lighter and lighter and lighter. And deep within you, there's a soft gentleness, purity, calm. I want you to imagine that in your heart space, that pureness, that gentleness is a light inside. The light that has no judgment, no needs, no wants, that feels complete. And using your imagination, allow that light to become larger, expanding through your whole upper body. And imagine a beautiful beam of light moving down through your body, out your root chakra, the base of your spine, and continuing down into the ground, connecting to the earth with roots of a tree, moving through the grass, the soil, the rock, an endless connection to all that is. The oceans, the streams, the plant life, the animal life, the human life. Feel that beam of light connect all the way to the center of the earth, the fiery center. All that power connected to you. And then make another connection, starting at your heart and moving upward, beam of light moving through the crown of your head and above you as far as you can see, connecting to Spirit, to God, to your higher power, collective consciousness. Feel yourself steadied, anchored and grounded with these beautiful streams of light. Expand those streams or beam of light outward, making them wider and wider. As wide as you can, expanding beyond the width of your body. There is no part of your body outside It's all inside this beautiful light. You can feel your muscles relax. You're breathing calm. All your cares are just fading away. And now I want you to imagine your root chakra at the base of your spine. A beautiful red flower opening and spinning clockwise, gently, easily opening up. As you bring your awareness there, you can let go of any tension and move the energy so it flows in that clockwise motion, open, free of all congestion, cleansing, purifying with this beautiful healing light that's all around you. Then move your awareness up to your second chakra that's right below your navel. Imagine an orange flower opening up, spinning clockwise, expanding and letting go of any congestion, clearing, opening, allowing yourself to receive healthy relationships, whether business, romantic, family, or friends. Feel any relationship issues you have being healed now, moving through the third chakra, just below your ribcage, your solar plexus. Beautiful yellow flower, as it represents your relationship to yourself, self-love, personal power. Feel that chakra opening and spinning clockwise, releasing any congestion, healing any issues with your self-esteem, self-confidence, personal power. Feel yourself empowered and worthy. Moving through the heart space, and you may feel this chakra is already open. It's a beautiful green color flower. Beautiful green, moving clockwise, opening your heart to divine love, pure love, loving everything and everyone, including yourself and your life, and the wisdom you gain every day. Then moving up to your fifth chakra, which is in your throat area, beautiful blue flower, opening and expanding, spinning clockwise, releasing congestion, feeling opening, calm, smooth energy. This chakra represents your communication, full self-expression. Allow yourself to receive full self-expression, to speak your mind, keep your boundaries, share your knowledge and wisdom with others, opening, expanding your communication, drawing to you people that want to hear your message, your thoughts and ideas. Moving up now to the sixth chakra, your third eye, right above your brow and forehead, a beautiful indigo color. Allow that beautiful color to become a flower, spinning clockwise, opening, releasing all congestion, all blocks, expanding your intuition, your inner knowing. You may feel pressure on your forehead as this area is activated and restored to your natural state of intuitiveness, opening to guidance, messages, direction in your life. And then moving to your crown chakra, right on the top of your head. A gorgeous purple color, rich, deep purple, opening up like a flower, moving clockwise, spinning, releasing all congestion and all blocks to you connecting to the collective, the higher source, the divine. Opening that doorway, feeling blessed, renewed, and reconnecting to your spiritual source. And above you, maybe about 3 to 6 feet, is a ball of beautiful, intense light. This light ball represents your higher wisdom. Allow that wonderful energy to move into your heart space here and now. You may feel a difference in your body. Imagine this ball of light, wisdom, clearing your mind of all distractions, of all ego needs and wants, and providing you with any information you need today, and allow your inner wisdom to give you messages and guide you the best possible ways, and trust that you can always come back here anytime to get more wisdom, and allow that beautiful light to just expand out all around you and scan your body and let go of any other congestion in your energy system. Allow the light to diffuse the energy that's no longer needed and let it go. Feel clear, calm, and empowered.
Sorry. Blow my
That was kind of
That was a good meditation.
That was good. You could send us the link for it, right?
That was very good.
Yeah. Yeah, this is just on YouTube. There are lots of different ones on there. It's nice for the chakra system. She had some pretty good words to say for each chakra. I like what she said around the throat area. So you can just Google and find tons of them there. Where's that going to go next?
What's your name?
Deborah.
Brent and Burnt?
Burnt. CreativeLove.com. Okay. So that was grounding. Really, it's simple. I mean, the first part of that was pretty much the grounding. The rest was kind of just a chakra visualization. And the first part was just maybe a minute to 2 minutes. And literally, wherever you put your attention, your energy goes. So when we're working, if you really think about it, a lot of our energy is up here. We never really think about our feet, our legs, unless there's some kind of pain. And usually pain is because energy is not flowing down anyway. So every once in a while, you just need to think about your energy going down. You can also think about your energy above you. So when she said to visualize that sphere above your head, did you feel anything? I tend to feel a lot when I go above my head. It's like I can just take my attention there, and I instantly start feeling a tingling or something up there. So it's crazy though. I mean, from how I used to be before I woke up to this thinking like, okay, I take my attention somewhere, and something actually physically happens. That's crazy if you really think about it. I mean, seriously. So a lot of it is self-mastery to me is really mastering your consciousness and being able to control where your energy goes and how you deal with your emotions. That's pretty much self-mastery, because it's like you can direct where those things go. What else is on our list? Protection. Did she go to the bathroom or?
She had a cough. But that's very, very relaxing.
I liked it a lot. Even just a 10-minute meditation a day can make a world of difference.
Oh yeah. I mean, my day is totally different if I don't take the time to meditate.
Yeah. Regardless of what time works for you, I mean, it's great.
Address is protection. That's why I wanted to wait for you to come back in. There's lots of ways of protecting. You can simply visualize. I mean, if you take your attention somewhere and your energy changes instantaneously, pretty much you're unlimited. I mean, you're only limited by your imagination. So protection could be simply, there's lots of people that talk about putting a shield around you. You can visualize when you're around someone putting a shield around you. Another popular one is, let's say you're working with someone or you're talking with someone and they're negative. You imagine that halfway between you and the other person, however close you are, there is a rose, okay?
What?
A rose.
Okay.
And as you're communicating, the rose is a filter.
Oh.
And then after you're done communing with that person, you take the rose and you let it either disintegrate or float away. And it's just a way of putting something in between you and the other person energetically.
Is our device, or that little thing, is it one that we need to visually have an act of disposing of? Because mine has been a veil,
Mm.
you know, kind of like a bridal veil.
Yeah, I would think the act of disposing would be better for you.
Okay, I can
Actually,
see
not just visualizing something protecting you, but something's actually
it's
collecting.
receiving that negativity.
Right. Yeah.
Do you you can visualize the choco ray too, right?
I would do seiheki for that. Chokerate adds intensity, so if the person's negative,
Okay.
it may intensify that. But the seiheki would be a filter that you wouldn't really. It's a good point that you don't even have to disintegrate afterwards. The symbol itself is supposed to filter. But I think for you, something that you actually take and disintegrate would be, in other words, you're visualizing it being taken away out of your field, where sometimes people just visualize a protection around them. Another thing, who here has heard of the flower essences? Anybody heard of the flower?
Is that different than your movie? Or
Yeah.
Bach flower essence.
Yes.
Oh, I do Bach.
You do Bach? Okay, what about, do you do walnut?
I'd have to check. I haven't done it.
Okay. So walnut, so I'm just sharing this with y'all. Walnut is a good flower essence for protection. And I'm going to read you. The flower essences are basically what they do is they take everything flowers at some level. So the walnut flowers, so they take the flowers, they put it in water, in sunlight, and it collects the essence. And then basically they put a little brandy in there to cure it. So if you have alcoholic issues, you can use, there's also glycerin. Some people use glycerin. But basically it's the flower. And the flower, if you think about a plant, the flower is going to be the emotional body. Anything essential oil, like the essential oils that you rub on your body that you see, like, what do I use? Peppermint, things like that, okay? Those are the hormones. These are the emotions. Flower essences are the emotions. Oils are the hormones. Just like in our body, oils are hormones. And then the actual substance is feeding the physical body. So it's the triad of a plant. And like we're all a triad. So the triad's flower essence is the emotional body. The essential oil is the hormones. And then the physical, like if I ate walnuts, it would have the physical attribute, but not necessarily the emotional or the hormonal attribute. So flower essence is fairly cheap. It's nice. What you do is you just take it like 4 drops under your tongue before a session. And I'll read you what it relates to. So walnut, its positive qualities is freedom from limiting influences, making healthy transitions in life, courage to follow one's own path and destiny, patterns of imbalance. And these are like a frequency. It's almost like a homeopathic. So you take this to give you a frequency that you're not strong in. So with you, walnut would be really good because it's giving you this protective shield. And you think about walnuts, they got this hard ass shield, right? I mean, you're trying to get the walnut, you're like, crack, crack, and then it's all, then you just got a little bitty.
And then when you break them in half, you see the brain.
Yeah, exactly. And the heart. I've got one on my desk that looks like a heart. The inside, anyway. So by taking this flower essence, it helps this. Okay. The positive qualities is the freedom. It gives you the courage to follow your own path and destiny. That's why I picked this out, because it really seems to fit you in this moment in your life.
Amen.
Patterns of imbalance is overly influenced by the beliefs and values of family and community or past experiences. The overall definition. The human soul is akin to the planet in its patterns of growth. It grows slowly, almost imperceptibly, from day to day. But there are moments when it makes radical metamorphic changes, moving beyond its current form to something utterly new. Thus the planet transforms from root to shoot to leaf to flower to fruit to seed. Walnut flower essence is an important remedy for times of great life transition to assist the soul in making metamorphic changes. It is indicated for those life passages when the self must be completely and irrevocably transformed in order to continue its evolution. At these moments, the soul must be unwavering in its sense of inner purpose and conviction. So it's about being true to yourself. And if the mind experiences doubt or confusion, the progression of the self is impeded, if not imperiled. Walnut is particularly helpful to those who may be easily influenced by family ties, community mores, social conventions, strong personalities, or past habits, and who are unable to muster the strength to make or break with the past and with the ideas of others. It is especially powerful in the mental field, helping, that's where the brain comes in, like all nuts do actually help the brain. Helps to dispel any enchantment, because when we're sending, how we can send positive energy to people? It is possible, literally possible, to send negative to people and to curse them. And there are ways of enhancing that, just like Reiki and learning this practice helps you enhance sending energy. There are ways to send negative energy.
Okay.
So it helps.
Let
Let me finish this and I'll
I'm
come back to
sorry.
you. It is especially powerful in the mental field, helping to dispel any enchantment, illusion, or spell which may bind the soul to the past. This remedy can be broadly applied and is valuable for all life transitions, including birth and death, moving, career changes, and ending or beginning relationships. Walnut helps the soul to perceive and follow its true star of destiny. Sorry, what were you going to say, Mary Beth?
I've been tapped on the shoulder. Would you please tell me the difference between enchantment and spell?
Well, okay, enchantment to me is like someone sweet talks you,
Thank you.
okay, and then
Manipulation is what we call it.
Yeah.
And more than just sweet talking, actually influence you because of that, right?
yeah, I mean, you see that with commercials. Commercials, I mean, people don't even realize that commercials, there's a psychological programming there. Even in TV programs, they don't call it programs by accident. So, yeah, it's funny when you wake up to it and you watch commercials, you're like, holy, wow, they're just really hitting everything. Like, I was watching a video the other day about getting in shape and doing ab workout. And in the video, it made 3 points. It said, what are women looking for? It says, women are looking for security, which had to do with, it mostly had to do with money and security. But women will override those natural needs if the person is in really good shape. It's like, oh my God. I mean, but people will totally fall for that. And
Men will totally fall.
But
well,
you know what,
the way the video is made too, with
Men
with
will fall for
how you put certain visuals and things, that's a large part of it too.
I can
Because
see a man
visuals.
believing that a woman would tell you that's a
Well,
crock
I
of
know
shit.
that. There's no doubt in my
but
mind.
you know what it makes me think? This commercial world we live in.
Oh, yeah.
I'm enchanted by turning the TV on and somebody else. Oh, I've got to get that. Oh, I've got it. I need that.
Well, in like merchandising, like Band-Aids. It's a bandage, but when you get your name attached to something, then that's really good. And like Coke, like we talk about Coke, like Coca-Cola, which is just a generic term for it, but you get your name to be, so yeah. But anyway.
So a guy coming on to you with, that's the enchantment when they're doing the Uber routine.
You get enchanted by that person. Where a spell is someone really specifically
working,
focusing, and they don't have to be in your presence. They can be. There are people that are into Wicca and pagan, and that's not strictly negative. But they teach a lot of spells, and spells do affect things, whether it's good or bad.
I need you to hone on me.
Okay.
There's some ladies
Mm-hmm.
that are in my work circle.
Right.
I don't have to be in the same space with them. There were 3, one of them's quit, had
Mhm.
health issues. And they're little gossips, they're both Baptists, so,
Mhm.
it's not that they're anywhere as near Wicca.
Right.
They're just older ladies that there's resentments, I'm aware of that.
Mhm.
But, They're better now because I prayed for them.
Right.
That was a surprise.
Mhm.
I mean, when you were talking about that,
Mhm.
it just happened. But and I used to say, man, I called them, I won't tell you what
Yeah.
I called them.
Right.
I'm not supposed to say it or think it anymore. Anyway, they were shooting darts.
Yeah.
And then,
Well, that's a
you
curse.
could tell at lunchtime they were just.
And you don't have
And I could, it was, ugh.
Yeah,
But
but
then I
you don't
go
have to
home.
cuss about somebody to curse them. You simply talk negative about them,
That's what
and our
it was.
energy field is picking up energy,
One
whether
of the-
it's good or bad. So,
Yeah.
in a case like that, one of the only things you can do is something like walnut. If you can't talk to the person
Ahead
and
of time.
resolve the issue.
Well, I was spitting nails myself because one of them told me that I needed to quit smiling and talking to the customer so much because I made them look bad.
Yeah,
It was like, I thought this is what we're supposed to do and this is just me.
right.
And I'm not the one that needs to change. So anyway, I went home spitting nails, just chewing it over and over in my mind. And finally, I didn't think about it. It was just, God, please help them. And started praying about gossip and bitterness and anger. But anyway, I did nothing. They knew nothing. I had said nothing back other than feeling very angry and defensive. Well, it didn't work again for 3 days where we were all there together. I walked in and they said, Mary Beth, hello, and their whole countenance had changed.
Yeah, because a curse takes actually involvement, or somebody. Because I would call that more of cursing than I would an enchantment. Enchantment's like positive; it tricks you. It's like it's enchanting. It's like
Okay, yeah,
and where
draws you.
a curse or a spell is something done more of in a negative, like focus from the get-go. Like somebody
Okay.
says that she's such so and so or whatever. Even without any negative words, it's a curse. And since we get that energy, if we react to it, then we feed the cycle. If we can turn the energy off, whether it's with walnut or like you did, pray for them, it does change the dynamic.
Okay,
For sure.
I'm still questioning about essential oils. You know how I told you I stay here?
Right?
Can
See, when
I create my own enchantments, illusions, and
Or the problem with all humans is we have those.
Because if you're saying, defining that for me,
Yeah.
I'm saying I stay in my head so much,
Right.
and my imagination, which the laws of attraction and what I tell myself, and I mean that's helping a whole lot. Would walnut help me with my own?
Yeah, it'd help you with an aspect.
What?
It would help you with an aspect of it. Grounding would be probably the best thing for you. And if you incorporated daily grounding with walnut, you make some serious progression.
Okay.
Because when you're up here, your body is open to attack. Like you ever heard about being out of body experiences?
Have I
Yeah,
experienced
yeah,
it? Yes.
Yeah. So when you're out of your body is open and exposed. There's no guard there.
Right.
So yeah, when the more you're out of your body, the more your physical body is exposed to other things.
Right.
So the more you come into your body, because this energy field that's around us, it's round, okay? But it gets misshapen. Like I talk about the lollipop, which I really have to work to bring that. So it's like my energy is really up here, and then, that's not balanced, right?
Okay.
And other people can be the other way. They can be really focused on the physical and have nothing up top. The whole idea is to be balanced all the way. If you're up here like a lollipop, you're not completely balanced. Actually, if I think about a lollipop energy field, okay? If I came up, how much effort would it take to push it over?
Right.
Not much. However, if it's completely round, I could push on it all day long, and it's able to resist that. So you've got to come down more into your body and be present, and then have the protection around you.
Right. Okay. So, ethereal. This is the one over here,
Right.
and then this one is
Third, you mean talking about the crown?
The crown.
Crown chakra.
Okay. But is this one that's that line you draw up there is the one that is with the grounding point.
Well, you're drawing that energy down all the way into the body to be balanced.
To balance.
Right.
Okay.
Because I'm going to do it on 10 for you from this perception. If I draw the line from here, it represents energy coming into the left brain, which is feminine receptive, And that line is up here, so you could actually say that's your higher self, the highest peak. But you want to bring that down into your body. You want to be fully embodied. You want spirit to be in you 100%, not 10%, not 20%, not 80%. If you hang out up here, spirit ain't in here. Spirit is not in you. You want to bring that all the way down into you and then balance it all together.
And my left hand is my more receptives, where this is where most I feel when I'm doing my energy work. I'm just realizing that I've been more drawn from the right side, which would be more the dreams, imaginations.
Right, yeah.
And not ground me with the analytical and
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, it's just the yin and the yang balance. You can't have one stronger than the other. You know, even though somebody's really analytical, let's say they're in their left brain, they're still a part of the right brain working. And when somebody's really creative and emotional, they're in the right brain, but they're still a little bit analytical. The whole idea is to get those in harmony with one another. That's what the top of that medical staff represents, where the wings are the, and this is actually and I'll get to that in a second, the paper I gave you, is the wings is that corpus callosum, that the fibers, the nerve fibers that tie the left and the right brain together.
Right.
They're in unity. One's not stronger than the other, because ideally, the holy marriage is between your masculine energy and your feminine energy in their heart. Okay? Until then, the disbalance that you have shows up in all your outer relationships. So any relationship out here that is in a particular way shows you where you're out of balance with your own male-female energy, bottom line, period. So it's all about getting yourself balanced, and then your world becomes balanced.
I wish I had a little light bulb I could go.
John, that specific explanation of the walnut that you put up there,
Yeah?
did you Google that from Bach or from another site?
FES, Flower Essential Service, I think it is.
Okay.
They have a book that I really love, and
Well, I just want that
Yeah.
specific description.
it gets a
That
really...
specific
That was awesome,
description.
wasn't
Yeah.
it?
Bam,
Just
bam,
like
bam.
It gives you a very long definition of more than just the Bach, because actually there's thousands of different essential oils out there. Bach, I think, has like 38 essential flower essences, but there are other people that have added to it. And this is my, I go through
Would you tell me again, flower essential, what's the S?
let me look here. FES, it's flower, flower essence service, I think.
Service, okay.
Let me do something here.
Thank you, by the way.
Come plus. So this is a protocol that I've kind of put together over the years that I muscle test through. So yeah, just within FES, they've got 179 plus
Whereas Bach only has the 32.
38. But I have 38 mixed in there.
Are they
Then
38 or
then there's,
32?
I'm not sure.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. And then there's Alaskan essences. There's Desert Alchemy has their own web page. And so this is basically, what I've done is I've taken a lot of the modalities and things I've studied and created a website on my computer, not out there. Because a lot of this is copyrighted from based I learned. And then basically I muscle test through it and tap it, and then it takes me out to the place that gives the more in-depth description. Well, for example, let's see if there's walnut and desert, and see if they have a definition. Maybe not. Let's see. No, they don't have walnut. So that was Desert Alchemy is the name of that one. So for example, like, what's aloe used for?
Healing wounds.
Heal it.
By the way, did you form your aloe to look like a deer in there?
No, I did. Is that what you see, a
That is
deer?
so lovely. Every time I go, it's so cool. Check it out.
So, like I said, there is the physical aloe that you would put like on a scanner and burn, yeah. And
I
then,
use aloe capsules. They're just
yeah, for your intestines.
general, well, they can go wherever you.
Yeah, and they're really, it's really cooling for the system. It's healthy for the intestines. But the flower essence, it's interesting because the flower essence always has, if you think about when you eat something, it not only has a physical component, but it does have a mental emotional thing too. So, and to take it even beyond that, is when you eat something, you're really eating molecular information. You're eating a knowledge, and that knowledge is teaching your body a particular pathway and function to operate. So when you take in a supplement, it has information that plant has gone through and absorbed, and you're taking the information in, which changes your informational structure. So like with aloe cultivates patience and surrender to the healing process, especially during a healing crisis. It is excellent if you feel resistance to allowing things to surface. Think about that. The surface of the skin represents on the surface. Skin represents how you interact with others. Skin issues are really usually a reflection of you having issues with other people. It helps you feel supported from within. It allows old memories or hurts to surface. It cultivates patience. I already said that. The imbalances is impatience with that it helps balance out. Impatience with the healing process, perceiving a healing crisis as unfair or ugly, resistance to allowing things you have stuffed or repressed. And that site is Desert Alchemy. And what I do is I do muscle testing on people. So I've just created this page with somebody and I muscle test, and I get to there, and then it takes me to that and say, oh, well, you could either use this, or let's just look at the emotional pattern that you need to change. Because whatever you're taking in, whether it's a supplement, or it's the flower essence, or it's the oil, it's giving you an octave that you're weak in, bottom line, okay? Until you learn to do what that said, you're going to need it. Does that make sense? So it doesn't necessarily mean it may heal to a certain degree, but then you have to start enacting it. You have to make it part of you. That's why supplements or medication never heal anything completely, because you're always, because if medication healed something, you would do it for a certain amount of time, you could stop doing it, and whatever you had would be gone. But I've never known that to be true with any medication, because if you don't stay on it, you've got the freaking issue. You know what I mean? So it has healed nothing. It's this giving you an octave, and sometimes medications are just kind of reworking things. They're not really healing it.
Years back, you were his name Kevin Trudeau. He's
Yeah.
a fellow. Actually, the first book that he read, what the pharmaceutical companies, or what they don't want you to know about.
Right.
Every medication put out is basically causes another problem.
Well, that's chemical thingy. We're not talking herbal here.
Yeah, but I was mentioning the medication though too,
Okay.
because if like what Tim was saying, in order for the FDA to approve something, this is why supplements cannot be approved. In order for a medication to be approved, you have to find the kill rate. In other words, you keep feeding it to animals or rats or whatever until they start dying. So you have to find out. You have to find out the dosage, the lethal level. That's the only way FDA will approve. That's why supplements aren't approved, because there's hopefully, most cases not a lethal dose, except maybe strong diarrhea or something like that.
And olive leaf extract gives you a 0 viral load for AIDS. So
Do what?
I can see your
What's the name of it?
olive leaf extract.
Really, I did not know that.
I should bring my olive leaf.
Olive leaf
book.
extract. Yeah, oregano is oregano is something I actually use in massage.
Yeah.
It's really good for muscles. You can take it internally.
Well, that's the other
Rosemary.
Aloe
I've got
is-
rosemary out there, but I really don't.
Aloe.
Rosemary tea. That's something years back. My mom suggested that.
Uh-huh.
She said, "Timmy, you want to do something? Keep your hair from falling out. Drink rosemary tea." Well, I actually got a hookup with this guy in Arkansas that grows this stuff so you buy it by the pound.
Okay,
And
let's look at that.
that and peppermint.
Or you can grow it in
Chamomile.
Yeah,
Grow your own rosemary.
Yeah,
you do not know. Just going and picking a little switch and activating oils and.
let's check it out and see what it says.
So I can't-
So here is the flower essence.
Lasagna too.
Yeah.
yeah.
real
Out the window.
Okay, now I'm all hungry.
Sorry.
Thank you, Felicia.
You're welcome. I'm always here.
Okay, now you gotta bring me some lasagna. Okay, positive quality. So this is the flower. So we're just gonna see whatever. You probably already read it now, Tim. It's warm physical presence, embodiment, and vibrantly incarnated. If it's the imbalance is forgetfulness, poorly incarnated. That's like being out of your body. In other words, you can go through your life but really not be in your body. I've done that for many times.
Maybe you're
Felicia
not
kind of
always
picked up
there.
that the other day
I'm overthinking.
about me being up in my head. It's like Moses going to the top of the mountain but never coming down with the Ten Commandments.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what? Both days I've come to your house, I've missed. I go
The turn?
past
Yeah.
Kel, and I have to go all the way to Brooke.
Turn around, yeah.
I did that
Mhm.
this morning too, and I wake up once I go. Brooke. Oh God!
Because you're taking something.
Yeah, exactly. You're
I
like
need to get back on the rosemary.
that's where you're up in. So Forgetfulness, poor incarnation of the body, lack of etheric warmth, a higher ego, not incarnated into the physical body completely. It's also a strong awakening, incarnating remedy. Well, I might be taking it. It is incarnated by those souls whose incarnation is weak or disturbed. So if somebody's sick, that can be really disturbed, like not like hospice, but when people are sick, how they're not really fully in their body.
Right.
Especially when the higher spirit or thought faculties cannot work properly through the physical body. It results in a reduced state of consciousness in the body with a tendency toward absent-mindedness. Maybe a little more that based on what you said. Forgetfulness, hypoglycemia tendencies. In particular, the soul forces are lacking in warmth and full-bodied presence. Quite literally, this means that the physical extremities of the body are often cold. I did not know that. I'm glad you pointed that out, because there's a couple of people I could give that to. Because there's a tendency to have people have cold limbs.
That's my heart so warm.
But you know what? But that's
It's
true.
all core.
There's a truth though, because that whole thing about when people say people have cold hands, warm heart. It's true, but it's not necessarily a positive thing, because that's Western Chinese. It's Chinese medicine being turned into Western, because Chinese medicine, and we're going to go over this point if we ever get to it, is that the heart energy, the pericardium, starts right here and goes down the middle of the hand. The middle of the hand, pericardium 8, where Jesus Christ was pierced. That is your emotional heart. When you touch somebody, your healing energy is coming from your heart. When you have a warm heart, it means typically that it's too warm. It means it needs to spread its energy out. It's like if you had heat so the heat needs to be expressed out. Pericardium helps you do that. And like I said, pericardium represents the castle wall around the emperor. It's got to be permeable to let all the blood, the emperor, which is in the blood, the life force, go to all the extremities. Visiting all the, what do they call them? The subjects of the land, which are your cells, and then come back to itself. So the pericardium represents going out to others, coming back to self. Going out to others, coming back to self. If you go out to others and you stay out, then that causes an issue. If you go inside and the castle walls close, that's another issue. So, do what?
She's going medical. You're talking dirty.
What the heck?
I have to tell you that when I do my energy work, I know what you're doing. You're using all the little technical terms that leaves everybody else out.
Oh my God.
No, when I'm doing my energy work, and you were talking about focus in this way, this has always been called my feel finger. So when I'm needing to
Feel something?
fine tune, when I need to fine tune, but when you're working on babies, they're very frail.
Yeah.
People, you have to reduce your time and
Pressure.
It's too much for babies or near death. So it's like the difference between having a really powerful blow dryer on high and then taking it to low, where it filters the sensitivity so that I can get enough on a baby or someone that there's a transition point, where you're very agitated. So anyway,
cool.
But when you said that, I was feeling it going with my feel finger.
Yeah.
That it has to go through
that spot.
That point.
Yeah.
So would you be willing? Because I've been carrying my oregano oil, but last night I actually got out of bed and said, no, where's my other one? And I couldn't even remember what it was. And then, like you muscle test, if it smells right, then I know, yes, that's what I need. Would you tell me lemongrass?
Lemongrass? You want it like?
Because I had to go to lemongrass, and I just.
Did you want a muscle test, or you want to see?
No, I don't want a muscle
see
test.
what relates
I want
to?
to know because when I got my muscle test, it was just to resolve some bone spurs. I have no metaphysical.
All right. Let me see if I can. I don't know. Sometimes
I wanted it.
It's very energizing.
It is.
Yeah.
It's very pleasing to the senses.
And see,
I've mixed it a lot.
I don't
with
eat
just
lemon.
peppermint.
Lemongrass. I personally do not like lemongrass. It's a little.
The smell of it.
Yeah.
Now, see,
I like lemon.
Herbal lemongrass.
I love lemon. I can smell lemon like lemongrass. I smell like 3 times and it's like I'm done. Whatever it does, I don't need.
And you know,
It's true.
well, now we're going to find out.
Let me look up 1 second.
You know, if I'm carrying y'all too far away, I can
Well,
look
we'll
it
do
up
this, and then we're
myself.
going to jet back on.
Okay.
Lemongrass. Because basically, what you can do is, I don't know all the flower essences, so if I'm looking for one, I'll just Google it. So lemon.
And
Grass.
then you'll go to the site that you know you like the explanation.
Well, I'll just go where it goes, because sometimes I don't even have a good one. So lemongrass.
That's all.
I didn't see the word lemongrass though, so I don't know yet. That's holly.
Well, and this is an essential oil, not a flower.
Yeah, but I'm looking at the flower because
Okay, the
you have to
flower
look at the
essence and the oil.
you have you have to look at the flower essence to find out the mental emotional component.
Okay.
The oil is the hormone, so you have to look at the flower essence.
I gotcha.
And basically, you can look at what you can look at what a food does to find out a close mental emotional, like aloe vera. It helps the skin, and it talked about things coming to the surface and the healing process. So it goes together, right? So mostly,
The olive leaf extract, the oregano oil, and the aloe vera all have antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal, antiparasitic.
yeah, but most oils
So I
do though.
I do this one when I.
Yeah, but
See,
most, but from my experience, most oils have that. I'll have to look for it and see if I can find it. Right
That's
now,
fine.
I'm not
I,
finding it.
take
We gotta
too
finish
much of your
this.
time.
We gotta finish this part. So let's go to the hand placement. This is page 39 in your booklet. The hand placement is really, really simple. It is literally going from the crown chakra to the feet. It's that simple. Okay. So this is from a booklet that I'd received through my lineage, and this is about the only thing I kept from my book, is just because the pictures are easy, and I don't have to redraw them. Basically, you're working down the body. So, like you start on the crown, and I like to put two hands down. You can do it lots of different ways. The hands can be like this, can be like this, and then the third chakra can be like this. It can be on the sides of the head. And you just continue to go down the body. Once we get somebody on the table, I'll take you through that. But literally, it's just going from head to foot. And you can look at the pages, but really it's simple.
Why would you know? Would you
Don't
know
worry
the
about
difference of why you would be on the body or off the body? Wonder why would you?
Well, I want to go by the feeling of it in the moment. And sometimes things are physical, and sometimes you need to clear something out of the etheric. I don't really think about that process. I just let it do it for me. I'll let it come to my mind, because that's the thing about. All right.
It's not a formula. When
Huh?
you are here, you do it this way. You
No,
do
there
it
is no such thing as a
simple.
formula. No,
Okay.
in my opinion, because it's like what we're doing, like today. You're getting some new files to put in your left brain, your masculine filing cabinet. Masculine energy likes to organize everything. That's why in the Bible, which talks about Genesis, which is all about yin and yang, is that Adam, the masculine principle, named everything. That's the masculine mind. It organizes and puts everything in files. Okay, the feminine process is more open and expressive to change and pushes the envelope because it's supposed to. So spirit comes in. Remember, the spirit comes in from the side, right? Spirit comes into the left brain and goes, oh, I'm working on this person. I let my spirit go to the file I need. I don't go, oh, this is what we need to do. That's what's wrong with Western medicine. Western medicine has the file that it goes to fix the problem, which they're freaking wrong a lot of the time because they're trying to go by what they know and not what spirit is saying. So there is no rule. There's no strong way of doing it. These are just outlines.
So there's not a formula to tell me when I'm. Because yesterday we did a lot of off the body stuff.
I was just trying to get you to get the sensation of feeling when you come in touch with a boundary.
I hear you. Okay.
So what you do is you work down the body. You can be watching the clock, and this is just the beginning because after that I don't really do this anymore. And I'm just sharing this because that's the stuff I'm supposed to share. Is 5 minutes at each position, so 5 minutes at each chakra. So 5 times 7 is about 35. Do the knees, and then you do the feet. You're grounding the person at the feet. And I'll put somebody on the table and show you that, but I just want to go over it here quickly. So 5 minutes at each session, And basically what that is in 5 minutes, there's been some energy that's moved through the area, and it's kind of like an overall tune-up. Does that make sense? But when you're really working with someone, which I want to get to today, is you just go to that area that you're drawn to and start working. Now you could do the chakra. We'll play with that though. But on page 39 to 44 is basically the hand placements. I was taught where you work on somebody on the front and then the back. I don't do that because I do both at the same time. Because to me, they need to be balanced at the same time. If that makes sense. Again, I'll show you when I get you on the table. I just wanted to show you this before I jump to the next thing. Now, this booklet I gave you, the 21-day integration. Did everybody get one of those? You can put that. I put holes. Yeah. You can put. I put holes so you can stick it in your book. And.
Or carry it with me at all times for 21 days.
This sign here is some sage. And I'll show you how to do that. It's I like to do just one leaf at a time, and some people are sensitive to that. We'll go over. I'll show you that back there when we have somebody on the table. So for 21 days, this first page here just kind of gives you some things to do. Try to eat pretty clean the next 21 days to let the detox process happen. Because basically what happened with the attunement was opening up the energy channel so energy will start flowing through. Sometimes that stirs up stuff, right? Just like if you poured water into a dirty glass, the sediment starts stirring. So you want to let that to keep moving. So by eating pretty clean, drinking plenty of water, making sure you're going to poo-poo quite regular, that helps too. Try to, not like avoiding TV completely, but take some time to like sit and quiet and contemplate. Since you've had this attunement to this, and you're really close to that energy right now, take advantage of being close to it. Take some quiet time, meditate, go outside, spend some time in nature, and unplug from the technology that we're slaves to pretty much anymore.
YouTube?
Do what?
No YouTube. Facebook?
Yeah, Facebook.
Don't play on Facebook?
That's where I have to watch myself. I don't even watch TV, but Facebook, you just leave it there. We'll get it later.
I don't need it.
Yeah. So 2 and 3 are pretty much similar. Take some meditation, be outside. Be gentle with yourself. Don't tackle any tasks that will deplete your energies. Since you're processing, like you're detoxing. When you're detoxing, you're not trying to, go to the gym, kill yourself, lift a bunch of weights, or tackle a bunch of emotional problems. Like now it's time to tackle the big elephant in the room. Well, maybe not really, because you may stir up even more crap. Drink plenty of water. Here is a formula. This comes from a book called Your Body's Many Cries for Water. It's a book out there about health. Basically, you take your body weight, you divide it in half, and basically that's how many ounces of water you should be intaking. And then with each glass of water, you get like Celtic salt, not like the iodized salt, Celtic salt, and just put a slight pinch into each 8-ounce water. So like these are pretty much, these are 16.9, so that's maybe like 2 really. So you put a little pinch of salt in these bottled waters and you sip it throughout the day, and that Celtic salt makes it more absorbable by the body.
Just any kind of salt?
Celtic.
Oh,
Celtic.
Celtic. Where
Yeah.
do you get that at?
The new health food store should have it.
Will my
Or-
pink Himalayan?
The Himalayan should be fine too.
Okay.
Just don't get the white ionized crap
Yeah,
that's been
right, it's dead.
altered to shit.
That's Celtic.
Not sea salt?
You can sea salt, or
Well, 'cause
I
I
said
have-
Celtic salt in my, but where it was Celtic sea salt.
Okay, well, because I have sea salt at the house, so just
Well, there you go.
any kind of sea salt.
Yeah, just a tiny
Yeah,
pinch.
just okay.
Well, and what that does is it transforms the water into a substance, because water is a cleanser. That's what we use to clean things, right? But you want to absorb it also, not just for cleansing, because your body needs to hydrate it. So if you put a little salt in it, it's because electrolytes, about electrolytes.
Yeah.
Gatorade. Gatorade was developed by the Gator football team, the Florida Gators. The scientists there developed Gatorade because of their football team was always sweating, and they needed to give something. So that's where Gatorade came from. So when you put a little salt in there, you mineralize it, and when you drink it, your body absorbs it. So you're hydrating. You need to be hydrated during this.
And because personally, I take like 3 different big containers to work that I have at the gym and the office. So in each one, I put just a tiny little pinch, shake it up,
Good to
It's
go.
almost to the degree you don't even taste it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For each 8 ounces, you're talking a pinch. So
A small pinch.
if I usually carry 32 ounce
Yeah.
jug.
Play
You
with it.
Tell me how much.
Yeah, estimate. I mean,
Okay.
I forget how he said exactly, but basically he said a pinch in there. There's his book right there. I wrote it down. If you're in doctor's care, and you may wish to have him or her reevaluate you. This is really only in the case of high blood pressure or blood sugar issues. And I wanted to mention this, I'd almost forgotten. When you're working with someone, the shifts can be strong. Okay, like Karen, her stomach issue went away and she has it 24/7 yesterday. If somebody is on high blood pressure medication or low blood pressure medication and you work on them, their body's going to balance out. So if they balance out, you tell them, because what happens with a lot of people that have blood pressure issues and blood sugar issues, they get lazy about monitoring, okay? And when they're lazy about monitoring, let's say you balance their blood pressure out and then they take the blood pressure medication, it's going to do double what it did before. Does that make sense? Because if they had high blood pressure and you brought it down into more normal and they take something more to lower it, you just bottom them out. But you put the responsibility on them and you just say, all right, this Reiki, may not seem like I'm doing much here, but it can be really powerful. You have to monitor your blood sugar or your blood pressure because it may be higher or lower than what you expect. And if you take medication, it'll whack you out. Well, maybe not use that word, but it'll whack you out.
It'd be like you're overdosing.
Yeah, exactly. Those are the two things that you really need to be aware of when you're working on someone.
Well, can I clarify that with you? Just in thinking, when I'm needing to give medications, there are certain ones that you have to do a vital sign before.
Yeah.
You only mentioned blood pressure, but people with cardiac meds, you usually need to know.
True. That kind of falls in the same category. Any heart issue or blood pressure. Heart issue, whether it's blood pressure or blood flow, whatever that's related to.
Okay. And
Or-
your parameters here, just
Right.
sliding scale, don't do it, or.
And blood sugar. No, you work on them. You just tell them. And after I work on you, you have to monitor because this may pull you back into normal. And if somebody's really taking a strong medication to lower high blood pressure, and you bring them more into a natural balance without medication, then they take the medication. They're going to have them pass out.
Right.
That's their responsibility, though. And you never tell someone, we're not in the medical field. You do not tell someone to stop taking their medication. Oh, this is it. You're healed. Okay? You don't have to take that anymore. Well, don't let that come bite you in the ass later. The Seiheki. This is the next page here. Say. This is one that we'll practice a little bit if we have time. And I just wanted to show you a little bit. So the Seiheki is let's go. They have this page. It shows you the symbol. It shows you how you just follow the number sequence. Remember this, there's a V, then there's like a 5, then you have that swoop, and then you have those two humps. This is, you mentioned the other day about cleansing a room. Seiheki is the symbol to do that. You can simply draw the symbol in a room and just imagine the energy radiating out like it's growing.
So, and when you're saying you draw, that's just visualize.
Yeah.
And I like the way you got this, because I've really never seen this. It's
Numbered
easier for
out.
me to, now I can
yeah.
put it together a little bit
Yeah.
easier like that.
So you just follow the number sequence with it, and when you draw it into a room, this is how. Oh, and this you may like this too, Felicia. On the. Do I have it on this?
When you did the attunement, you did it on both sides at the same time.
I did. To be honest, I did everybody's attunement different.
Okay.
I did based on what you needed.
Okay. When you talk of clearing a room, would that be an intuitive, just one hand, two hand sort of?
Yeah. Usually when I draw a symbol, it's like this. At my old office, whenever I left, I'd always do a chokeray over the door. Be like. When I left, and I would say, when you're drawing the symbol, you typically say it. It's like a mantra, kind of chant. So it's like chokure, chokure, chokure. Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
that's a woo thing to everybody watching.
Yeah. And I would say chokure, chokure, chokure protection was my intent of it. Because I wasn't trying to clear the room, I was trying to protect it. So chokure is a good one for that. Let me find one thing here. I'll keep on track. Try to.
The color purple. I can't get enough purple right now.
See, I would think you would maybe need some more orange to balance that out. The purple and
Well,
orange.
that's funny. The last shirt I bought, I almost didn't buy it because it had orange in it, and I left, and I came back 2 days later and had to buy it. And it was because of the orange. But I generally hate orange. I don't like.
There's a message right there.
I don't.
So,
buy
but think about this though, okay? Because if you have a distaste for something, there's a charge for it. It's not neutral. So here you've been talking about being up here. That's purple.
Well, actually, more over analytical, analyzing everything.
But still, that still ties into purple though. So
Okay.
here is strong, and you feel really comfortable there. You like it there, but you need to come down here, and you're like, I don't like that.
Orange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So whenever you're doing the symbols, you see that water there? It's like I kind of like visualize that. It's like I'm doing this because this is an empty freaking space. It's like it's got substance to it. So when I'm drawing a symbol, it's not like I'm just drawing the symbol into emptiness. I'm drawing it, and it's like the vibration of putting that into a 3D, 4D substance is what carries that vibration. It holds it. Water holds vibration. Emoto's work. Y'all seen Emoto's work? Where he takes bottles of water, he puts words on them, and then he freezes the crystal. He freezes the crystal, and if it's a good word, it's a pretty crystal. If it's a bad word, it's a negative crystal. Powerful stuff. And we're made of how much water? Depending on who you listen to, it's like 70 to 90% based on who you're listening to. Another thing I like to do, this is for Felicia here on the tapping, is when you're tapping, try to visualize the same phenomenons happening because it lets your mind realize that, hey, the physical body isn't that physical.
What are you visualizing when you do that?
So imagine that I'm tapping you right here. I'm imagining that you're rippling as I do that.
Okay.
Yeah. So that gives you the concept of, wow, the physical body isn't that, but actually the physical body isn't that physical. So just think about when you're drawing a symbol onto somebody. So that goes for drawing a symbol too. I'm doing that into, not just on your surface, like, oh,
okay, and I'm understanding this a little bit differently.
Good. And that other picture there is the surface of the skin, which is basically, to me, like somebody just threw shingles on a roof haphazardly.
Well, that looks like my dry skin right now.
Yeah.
I was like, God, they need some hand lotion.
And that's why when you put a patch on somebody's skin, why it works, because it goes through those cracks. It's not one seamless, it's not one, it's not one seamless, is that the right word?
Yeah.
Whatever. Okay. So, but yeah, when you're tapping on yourself or other people, or you're doing the symbols on the body, or you're doing the symbols in the air, visualize that you're not just doing it on the surface, you're doing it in something.
I like that.
Okay, so this is the Seiheki. And the Seiheki is for emotional clearing. It's for the smoking. If you want to quit smoking, you draw the Seiheki over the cigarettes. This is the efforting part, though. You have to do it continuously. And then the cigarettes start tasting really nasty to you because you're clearing this connection. Seiheki is also really good for cutting these energetic cords to other people, okay? Because it's a clearer. You don't want to do chokurei. If you have a negative connection, you do not chokurei that. You say Seiheki it to work on neutralizing and cutting it, okay?
And you're saying a relationship, negative connection. I'm just doing it out in the air between me and...
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Just like maybe you put that rose, like Tim, I've never thought about that before. Tim gave me a good idea. Just having their Seiheki symbol between you and somebody else. Or you could do it, like Barbara Brennan gets into that book I told you about in the beginning I really first read. Mm-hmm. It's like she talks about there's energy cords that we all have. In relationships, these cords can have hooks on the end and they come in and go hook into, they go from chakra to chakra.
Right.
So you can just visualize in a meditation that, and this can all be in your head. You don't have to draw the symbol with your hand, if you can visualize it, I can just simply visualize a symbol like that. In a meditation, I can energetically imagine the connection, and then I'm drawing the Seiheki on that energetic connect. It's really, like I said, it's limitless. It's all imagination. We're all make-believing.
Yeah.
It's whatever you believe, you make. Okay? So whatever you can think of can happen, period. It's done all the time. Because we're all powerful. We have that make-believing ability. Whatever you make up, whatever technique you create, works. Because you have power to it.
Okay. If the cigarettes isn't really about the cigarettes, it's about saying, I'll be damned if you're going to make me quit. I am in control.
Right,
Well,
but
it's
this just gives you something to because it's cutting the tie. People are tied to them. You have a fucking relationship with a cigarette, okay? You do.
Right, with the
So you got to
addiction.
start cutting the relationship to that.
Okay.
So I don't know that I included this page, but I just wanted to show you this reptilian brain. Remember I talked about Ganesh. This is the base of your skull, okay? The other symbolism here is the snake eating an egg. We're not going to get into that, though. So there's Ganesh. That's your lower brain. The Seiheki is working on the bird brain, the emotional brain, which is right here, okay? So you see the Eye of Horus there, a pretty popular Egyptian symbolism? That ties into your brain. See how I drew that on that brain down there? Yeah.
Oh my God.
See how even this right here has a bulb, and here in the brainstem you have that bulbous thing, right?
Yeah.
This eyebrow is the corpus callosum that ties the left and right brain together. It's about being single-eyed again. All this information has been hidden, and I said all religious texts are actually written into your body. So the Seiheki is about addressing that. You know what they call? You know what they call the limbic brain? All right, the lower brain is reptilian. Okay, the limbic brain sits on top of that. It was rumored that the reptilians turned into birds. Okay, Horus has a bird head. It's the bird brain, Eye of Horus. There's hints everywhere in this information in ancient texts. So the Eye of Horus, the bird face, is referring to the emotional brain, the god of the emotional brain. So when you're doing the Seiheki, you're doing that right over the emotional brain, the temple that holds your consciousness. So basically, you're following that line. We'll do some of that on the table. I'll do everybody once just to kind of get a feel for it. Then you're just going to have to practice with it. That's the Seiheki.
And what is the emotional brain called? With the name?
The emotional brain is called the limbic brain.
Okay, the limbic.
Limbic brain, Limbic, limbic brain. It's the midbrain, but it's
So
also
that's kind of maybe the step up in evolution.
it is. That's why right here, if you look on the page there with the Horus, this is the stages of evolution. First was the fish, but look at it correlated to humans. Fish, you're in your mother's water, right? Then the amphibian, where you're out of the water, but you're close to the water, right? That's childhood. The reptilian is when you strike out on your own, away from the water. This is when you go to college and you seek your own power. The bird stage of your life is when you have this awakening or aha, like, wow, there's something more to everything. And then the mammalian is when you come into nurturing and caring for your others. That's the evolutionary process. But it also deals on a spiritual level. So there's the reptilian brain, the bird brain, on top of that the mammalian, on and on. And in the forefront of the brain, which only humans have, like with dogs, they just go straight back, right? They're missing this part of the brain. So we have the ability to project the forefront, the frontalis, is we can project our ideas into the future and change the future. But anyway, we get totally whacked out on that. Then another symbolism, and this is a class I put together that really goes into this. This picture you don't have, but you know how in Egypt they really revere the beetle.
Sounds like Beetlejuice.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's my sense of humor. So
Is that like scarab?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's a beetle. See, look at the division on the beetle though. See the division on the body of the beetle. What do you see? It's like a V and a line, right? Look right here. Let me blow it up. 1 second. Whoop. One more. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
When you look at the beetle,
Ah,
do you
ah.
see the division? See that division?
Uh-huh.
Now, this will freak the hell out of you, at least it does me.
In the brain.
In the brain, in the center of our brain, the thalamus, we have two of those thalamuses. What do you think they're really talking about? In Egypt, what were they doing? They were pulling people's brains out through their nose. They knew about this stuff. So, in those wings again are the corpus callosum. Again, you see the snakes and the kundalini. It's all hidden there. It's all the same information hidden for thousands of years.
Oh.
This is
Do you know?
tripping me out. I'm telling you, this is tripping me out.
It's supposed to trip you out.
You know how you start cleaning out?
Oh, you're going to go.
I'm sorry, I may end up going every
Like
20
TMI.
minutes.
Ah.
There's no TMI in this house. Wow. You're talking about everything. Wow.
Now, remember I talked about the corpus callosum, the wings on top of the medical staff? That's a nerve fiber that connects the left and the right brain. Look at it. Looks like wings.
Wings.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then there's the beetles right there. The beetles. Let it be. Oh wow, it's almost one already. Wow. All right, I want to go over this part. So in your book, oh, I have that first. No, and that one there. But this picture here, I've got like a sequence of what you do, and we'll do it on the table a little bit. And this clears out the emotional body. Now, remember I talked about the pericardium. The next page, with the guy shows his heart. The pericardium. See how the energy goes down the arms. Basically, what you're going to do is this is just a practice to do daily to help open up that energy. Is you rub kind of in this upper pec area. You're rubbing either both sides. And what you do is you rub that and you sweep down the inside of the arm, palm up.
So rub it for a little bit and then sweep.
Yes. And the image is that you're pulling, it's like you're pulling energy, collecting it, and then you're sweeping it out.
Oh, okay.
Okay? That's to clear out that meridian, because what does this point do? It's the hand chakra. It's where you put healing, and that comes from the emotional heart. That's why when you're in a judgmental state, that the healing just doesn't come through. So this page here.
So this is a release.
Yes. This is
maybe
called flushing. When you can tap a meridian or you can flush a meridian. You're flushing this meridian clean.
Okay, so it's just you kind of
eradicating
whatever you don't want.
Taking the gunk out. And it's really important before you, it's basically rubbing that spot and then coming off the middle finger. And then you can rub that or pull that.
Yeah, heaps.
Hey, Charlie.
Hi.
So that judgmental thing is right here where my bursts are actually down in this part right here.
It's kind of up in the upper pec.
Okay.
If you just look at the picture, it shows you pretty much where it is. And think about doing the rubbing or tapping a spot. It's not like acupuncture where you're trying to hit an arrow in the bullseye, and it's the inside of your arm, palm up.
Okay.
That's important because the meridian goes this pathway. If you do this, you're really not running it. Just look at the picture. The picture shows him like this.
So my nerve pathway is
And you said do both sides.
Do both sides, yeah.
right there.
So basically, you're rubbing the point, and that's to kind of get the energy opened up. You're open, and then you're just flushing out. Sometimes I do that with my palm. Sometimes I just do it with my finger. And then if you want to, you can massage the finger after, shake your hands out. That's that.
And that's like when you're being judgmental? Or just
That's
for
any time.
cleansing?
I want you to do this daily for the next 21 days.
And only one side or both?
Both.
Okay, both.
Do it for the next 21 days, both sides, about 3 times. And there's huge spleen lymphatic points here too, so it's important to flush that out. And then the choker ray, we've already discussed that. You've got this picture. The choker ray is to increase power, so it's not about cutting any ties. And then I put this picture.
So and you okay.
Yeah, you did.
And
So that wouldn't be as much protection as
No, this is more like, you can think about turning on more energy. Remember, it represents the...
And you can use this in conjunction with the other symbols as well.
Yeah,
Correct.
of course, yeah. They all kind of go together. So that's the choker. Did I include this
Yeah.
picture?
You showed it to me when we finished looking in the hallway.
Did I have it in
Where you
here?
can fold it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So this just shows you, the circles. See how the root and the crown relate, the second and the third, the solar and the throat. See those circles? That shows you the relationship. They go together. So if you work on one, be sure at the end of whatever you're doing, work on its partner. Okay. And remember how that we did yesterday with the choker, the choker covering. See, I'm taking the choker down, and basically I'm just following those circles inward. That's another good one to do on yourself, and simply, I like just put your palm towards you, and then just spiral. It takes a while to kind of get, if you're visually challenged, it takes a while to kind of get how am I spiraling down. And then the last thing is just a meditative practice, which hands in front of the heart, focusing on the middle fingers, the ends of the middle fingers, breathing deeply. This is something you can do as well. And then doing the principles. You can just have them in front of you and say them, which are, I will not get angry, worry, I'm grateful, honest, and loving every living thing. And then you bring after you do that, you bring your thumbs to your third eye, and you thank Spirit for guiding you through your day. And those are a couple of things you could do daily to really boost and shift, since we're doing this that you've had this weekend to really incorporate that. Any questions there? If you have any questions, feel free to email me or text me. Smoking, I went over that. If you want to get over smoking, you do the Seiheki or whatever it is on whatever your issues with. One more thing that I wanted to go over is sometimes not everybody is a massage therapist and has the ability to touch others. So there's loopholes and everything. And one of those loopholes is the Universal Life Church. You can see Conan O'Brien is an ordained minister, Kathy Griffin. And you can become an ordained minister. It's a loophole. And basically this website, it's themonastery.org. Just go there, and it's themonastery.org, ordination-form. And that's it is to work around the issue of touch on people. Because not everybody's allowed to touch other people. If you're going to work with other people, it's a loophole to get through. I've even heard of where people that do the tarot cards, they have to have that now to be able to read other people's cards, which to me is just weird. But
what, legally or going along
Legally.
in conjunction
It's
with
like a cover your ass protection.
Okay.
Mhm. And that's what this is. It's just, I recommend that you work on your friends and family, especially in the beginning.
Right.
Yeah.
You
I
would
see what
still
you're
want
saying. So you
to
basically
function
you get to the point where you're branching out and helping people. Saying, "Hey, come, I can give you this."
That's what I gave Katie to do, because
Yes.
Katie's now doing that out of her house. She's not a massage therapist, so she's not quote unquote licensed to touch other people. But this gives you the ability to do that, and it's legal. I mean, it looks like pokey, but it works.
Do you get a certificate?
Yeah, you do.
On your wall?
Mhm, yeah.
And a little.
And you get a
Or what does it call you? Ordained.
well, you get to kind of choose. You can choose a name in some of it, and you get a purple. I'm kidding.
I want one of those staff things.
Yeah, those incense balls. It's it's the monastery. .org.
It's not here.
No.
Oh.
/ ordination. Dash form. It's like a dash in the middle. Isn't that a dash?
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah, dash form. There. But if you just go to themonastery.org, you're going to find it because it's right there.
Yeah.
So
And so that's not that big of a deal to jump through this.
no, and I think it's. I mean, it used to be donational. I had to figure out what it is. Maybe
Right, okay. Well,
And
I'm glad that you brought
it
that
gives
up.
you a little card. It's just a loophole. People that ask. And my thing is, I've been doing massage and energy work on my own, in my own way, for 18 years. And it's a lot of your intent. So if you're worried and freaked out about this kind of thing, you're going to draw maybe that attention to you. Just do it, trusting and knowing you're doing the right thing. God's coming through you. And that's it. And the rest takes care of itself. But it's just a KISS thing.
Yeah.
No.
So I believe that was a good way to put it.
So that concludes that. It's already 1 o'clock, I cannot believe. Get me talking. Okay, any questions on that? Are we covered?
Of course. 10 billion.